We've had the pleasure of helping Alex and his family on their property journey. So, Alex, tell us a little bit about your story, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. It's quite a unique one, actually, because we've really come full circle. I first met you 10 years ago when we were on the other side and actually buying a property. And
yeah, that's right.
It was our first home for my wife and I to start our beautiful little family, which we have three children now, and served us well with many, many memories. So it's quite interesting that, that time has lapsed and here we are 10 years later selling that same property as we move on. So, it's been quite a journey, mate, both in the buying portion back in 2015 and now being on the other end of what was a really successful sale. And the journey itself was very smooth. I can't fault the process, and obviously my wife and I are extremely happy with the process and essentially the journey overall, because that was the first home that we've bought. Now with many years past, it's actually the first property that we've sold as well. So it was an amazing experience. It was really smooth.
Here's to many more, mate. Here's to many more. So tell us what was important about your selection of agent. Tell us what was important to you.
Mate, the number one thing for me is trust, Craig. I'm in the people business myself, and whilst it was a great experience that we had 10 years ago, that was 10 years ago, and we were buying and not selling. So what was really important for us when I reached out and we re-engaged was just to establish that line of communication and to make sure there's trust and transparency. That's a really big thing for me. I think that's important for everyone in the real estate space. So for us, that was really big, and right from day dot, that's what I loved. We had an open line of communication. You were very transparent the whole way. You and your entire team were fantastic, and you never faltered. So I always felt there was a strong trust and connection in the process, which is really reassured us and made it a great journey to experience, as opposed to unfortunately what can happen in which I've heard. You hear lots of folk tales around how things can go sour pretty quickly. So that was really important for us, mate, and you guys knocked it out of the park.
Oh, terrific, mate. So there was, you've already covered off on what you loved, but if there was one word that you were to use to describe, what would the word be? Your experience with us?
Service. I mean, look, you can't, like, at the end of the day, like, this is a service that you're providing, and we felt served, mate. Like, it's something that is really important. You can pick lots of little bits and pieces that people try and pull together and what would be ideal for them, but above all, you guys just provide an amazing platform. Your communication was clear, the process was quick and smooth and effective, and mate, the service was top shelf. And that's how I would describe you and your team, which is why, obviously, for me and my wife, which is, you never know what lies ahead when you're doing something like this for the first time. We're both over the moon with the way that you guys handle everything.
Oh, terrific. All right. Well, if there was a recommendation you'd put forward to the next buyer or seller, mate, what would that be?
It's pretty simple. The truth always wins. So for us, we established trust, and I went with my gut instinct. I think that's really, really important. Like, if you're getting a good feel for the energy of another person, and if that's coupled with the actions and they're following through and doing what they said they would do, how can you miss? And that's why, earlier on in the piece, when we first bought the property, with you representing the vendors, Craig, we felt that, and then again 10 years later we felt that. So I think that's a really positive sign. Like consistency is not a very it's not a very well established thing in today's world, right? So to see that not only have you been consistent over the last 10 years, but through re-engaging, it was just a flawless approach. I'd highly recommend anyone, like, if you feel like Craig and the team, you've got a good connection with them, they're clear and upfront with us, you've got that level of trust, and you can see, like with us, what was really, really important is you actually painted the goalpost. This is the end game, this is where we want to get to. So the journey was very smooth, and mate, you followed through on everything you said. So that's my biggest thing, mate, that the truth always wins. And with our relationship and what we had over this period of selling our home, it was exactly that. So if anyone's feeling the same, well, you'll never go wrong with Craig and his team.
Oh, terrific. Kind of you to say. All right. Well, mate, thanks for taking the time out of your busy day, and we'll look forward to helping you on the rest of your property journey the next time round.
Pleasure, Craig. Definitely be using you again, mate. And thank you again for everything too, mate. I can't thank you enough. It really was a smooth process, and it really helped my wife, especially at the time where, there's uncertainty and feelings and emotions. She raised our children in that home. We raised our children at home, and you did very well, mate. Thank you very much for that.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thanks, Al.